Welcome to the Illuma Newsroom. The starter decks for Into the Inklands have had their contents revealed, including a few new cards. Let's dive right in, Scrooge style. First, there are vanillas, because of course there are. Webby Vanderquack, Enthusiastic Duck, a Ruby Steamboat Pilot, and Chief Tui Proud of Motonui, a Steel Sinister Visitor. I am a little surprised at Chief Tui's stat line, as it has been power crept a lot, including on Louie, who is a common. I see no world in which either of these see play. What will see play is Simba's Scrappy Cub, a color-shifted Pinocchio star attraction. I ranked Pinocchio as the number 5 best Amethyst card for Rise of the Floodborn, and Simba here will absolutely see play as well. For actual cards, in Amber we have Lucky, the 15th Puppy, a 2/3/1 lore for 4 uninkable, whom you can exert to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, but all revealed characters costing 2 or less into your hand, and putting the rest on the bottom. Also, when he quests, if you have 4 or more other characters in play, they get +1 lore pip this turn. That is a lot on one card. He is both a draw engine and a payload, all in one package. Now, searching for 2-drops in your deck has some synergy with the Dalmatian puppies, but we still have yet to see any explicit mechanical reason for the puppy tag. At any rate, this card is nutty, and it's going to be run in a lot of Amber decks. Then there's Nani, Protective Sister, a 3/6/2 lore for 5 with Bodyguard. That's a very good stat line, and she will fit right into Little John's new Bodyguard deck. I would definitely run her over Goofy Musketeer, as the extra lore I think is more valuable than their very restrictive healing. She will also see play in Mufasa Roulette decks, as coming out exerted is exactly what she wants to do. After her is the adorable Roly Hungry Pup, a 3/3/1 lore for 3 with support. This is fine, but I think we'll only see play in a puppy tribal deck if that ever ends up manifesting. Much more playable is the Bare Necessities, a 2-cost song that lets you look at the hand of an opponent and discard a non-character card. So very similar to Ursula Deceiver, the main use of this is going to be getting rid of the board wipes, grab your sword and be prepared. But this could also hit valuable items like the new Lucky Dime. I think this is going to see a lot of play as a tech card in generic Amber decks, but is also helping to solidify a potential Amber Emerald discard-focused deck. Amethyst got nothing new, but over in Emerald is one of the most broken things I've ever seen, Wildcat Mechanic, a 2/3/1 lore for 3 with evasive, and you can exert him to banish an item. Reusable item hate on an evasive body that I would rather run than never landing. Wildcat is going to win drafts, as all evasives do, but he's also going to see a lot of play in Emerald, as he can deal with all sorts of nonsense. The one downside is you have to wait around before you can use him, but even just having him sitting on the board will deter your opponents from playing their items. Ruby gets a new Captain Hook, Master Swordsman, a 5/4/1 lore for 5 with when he challenges and banishes a character, ready him, he can't quest, and all Peter Pans lose evasive and can't be evasive. So first off, having a smaller version of Scar Vicious Cheater is very nice, especially since he can get free rush from Jolly Roger, and that second part is just a better version of Ruthless Pirate, who is utter trash, though of course this is limited to Peter's Pan. While I don't think he justifies a pirate deck all by himself, you'll definitely want to run him in any deck running Jolly Roger. Speaking of Peter Pan, here's his Floodborn, Pirate's Bane, a 4/5/2 lore for 6 with shift 4 and evasive, and when he challenges a pirate, he takes no damage. This is wonderful, and I changed my mind. I will swap out Fidgets to make room for Wildcat because I need to keep Neverlandings as shift targets for this. 5 willpower is going to be much tougher for Steel to get rid of, and the anti-pirate tech is just gravy. What's funny is while Master Swordsman makes him lose evasive, Pirate's Bane can take him out for free. Then there's Hey Hey, Accidental Explorer, a 3/2/1 lore for 2 with once per turn, when he moves to a location, each opponent loses a lore. Now this is a good incentive to run a location deck. You don't even want to quest with him, just bounce him from location to location every turn and keep draining lore. Though Maui Soaring Demigod kind of wants you to quest with him, so it'll depend on the situation, I suppose. In a similar vein is Kakamura, Menacing Sailor, a 3/2/1 lore for 3 uninkable, who when played makes each opponent loses a lore. So a street rat with 1 more strength, but uninkable seems fairly balanced. honest. And he's a pirate, so slot him into that pirate deck. He comes out, steals a lore, then runs to the Jolly Roger to get rushed and swing into something. Not bad. Next is what I'm assuming is supposed to be a shift target, Moana Undeterred Voyager, a 3/4/1 lore for 4 with evasive. So the stat line seems fair, though with evasives I'd probably still rather run Pongo for the higher lore. But as a shift target for Born Leader, I am less convinced. A 2-drop would be preferable, or at least something with an on-playability that you don't mind losing. As it is, Born Leader seems like a finicky gimmick anyway, so I'm not banking on either Moana seeing much play. The final new Ruby card is Maui's Fishhook, a 3-ink item that you can exert and pay 2 ink to either give a character evasive until next turn, or give a character +3 strength this turn. If you have a Maui in play, that ability doesn't cost any ink. So with a Maui, and in Ruby decks, there's a high chance you're playing a Maui. This is pretty nuts. This lets Hero to All snipe evasives, or even chonkers like Ursula Power Hungry. This is a wonderful addition to the Ruby Steel Challenge Focus deck, and will likely replace the copies of You Can Fly I've teched into it. Our last new card is in Sapphire, Gatala, Keeper of Ancient Stories. She's a 3/3/1 lore for 4, and when you play her, develop your brain. This seems very good. Like I was saying with Generous Fairy, this basically gives Sapphire their version of Maleficent Sorceress, and I think she will see a similar amount of play. Sapphire decks are already running Intellectual Powerhouse and playing him for 6 ink, and while he does have a chonky 3 lore, Gatala is 2 ink less, and is inkable if it comes to that. Now that's not to say she's going to replace Flaversham, but she's definitely a swell consolation prize if you don't draw into him or a popsicle. We also rather surprisingly had our first enchanted reveal, Pirate's Bane, looking almost like an oil painting. I like seeing them experiment with art styles on these, but of greatest interest is the collection number, 215 out of 204. That is suggesting that Into the Inklands is going to have 3 enchanteds per color rather than just 2. Keep your eyes peeled for lots of shiny cardboard. That's it for today though. Get in the comments, which starter deck do you think you'll grab?